It is, let's see here, 4:46 in the morning. All right, let's see, standard with just some weight on it, but how it converges at the top, right? So, looking at it, going in the center of my palm, so I'm gonna measure that. I can just touch from the center of my palm. I can just touch with my arm extended because it goes more to the top. So my full arm's extended with the center of my palm. I can just touch my thumb. So I'll measure. All right. So you need a 3/4 socket and wrench. All right, so I had to pause for a second. Had to recoup and figure this part out. So what you actually have to do is you actually have to loosen. There's a set screw here. You can see my finger, yeah. There's a set screw here. There's also a set screw on the back side over here. You loosen those two up, right? You just saw how that moved. Then you loosen these up. Then you can actually slide about 1/4 of an inch. In fact, let me see exactly measurement-wise. Because I know Nikki's gonna ask me. Yeah, he was right. Comes out 1/4 of an inch. So now I did that one. Let me go do the other one. So I'm loosening the set screws. Not contacting. Not contacting. Inward like that. So you just saw how much I just reduced down over here for the width. So that's gonna be the divergence. By fucking with this a little bit and canting these ones as they are right here, I should be able to now change the convergence at the top a little bit more. But it's gonna be very minuscule, I think. So, did one side, brought that in, all right? So now, this, you see the difference. So here's my width on this side. Here's my width on this side, all right? Oh, it does bring it in. I have a little bit more. Falling off right here. I actually have a little bit more drop off too, which is weird. I think that little bit of 1/4 of an inch cant, specifically when you loosen both of the packs up, and I canted this one in and the ass end out a little bit, so the ass end's sticking over, and I'm gonna show that in the video. That actually did pitch this a smidge more. You can tell a little bit that this one pitched in a smidge more, which is really all I could have done anyway. But wow, the difference for the width right there. I mean, I put it right to where it could go compared to the standard. So I took this gap out completely, brought it right in, and it doesn't touch, which is why I made sure I checked it first. Interesting. No way. I was at 7.5 yesterday, BB. I'm pretty sure I'm under 7 now. I'm at 6.5 now. I went from 7.5 to 6.5 by adjusting that right there. There you go. So that right there will definitely solve the one problem for like folks like TJ and Josh. If I wanted to, I could always adjust it back, but I actually prefer that, just that smidge less. It gives me, when I do this one, I'll be able to choke up evenly on the other side. So what you do is you have a wrench here, a socket here, 3/4 inch. You loosen these up first. There's one in the front, there's one in the back of each pack, and you do this one and you do this one. You don't even touch that collar. That is strictly for the foot assist. So you just leave that one alone. You loosen this one and that one. Then you go to the set screw. There's a set screw here. And I think that was 5/8. And there's one in the front and then there's one in the back. They're just hand tight. So you do one good little twist on it, break it loose, and then you do the same thing on the back side. And then this will shake like you saw me do before. You repeat the same on this one and the set screws, and then you can actually slide it, as you saw in the video, from the outer width to the inside. This just slides right in, which is beautiful because this is actually welded to this. This isn't. This is guided on and locked in with this collar that's attached to here. Now I just got to do the other side, but you can actually see right here, oh, there we go, the difference from standard to reduced right here. And then also right here, you see how this is off center now? That's because the back end is pretty much pointing outward, and I pushed this one inward, which gave it a little bit, 1/4 of an inch of a cant inside for more convergence at the top, which I'll try that out later with when I have both arms set. So you can see how these are all pretty much like dialed in, and then how I just changed that one. So I twisted all of them inward. Pretty cool. All right, guys, now let's do a new measurement. Inside to inside. All right, 23.5. This one is all the way in, okay? So if I still go to the end, I can get even more of a squeeze. If I go to my barbell width right here, this is how I usually do on the barbell. It's just like how I had it before. If I go inside one more, now I'm getting even more of a tricep squeeze and a little bit more of a pec squeeze right there. I do have actually probably about, ooh, feels good actually. I got about, I definitely feel like I got, oof, feels good. Probably at least about another inch, ½ inch, I feel the squeeze further in on the inner pec, which is really nice because I'm getting right to there. Which is weird, when I brought this one in, I thought maybe it would go down to like 23 total, but it stayed right at 23.5 about. I mean, if you watch my chest right there where the buttons are, you can see how it bunches up. And I really feel more burn right now. And I don't have any weight on the machine. I feel more of a burn on the inner pec. That was pretty cool. And so what you can see here is, I reduced that down, I think it was about 1.5 inches, if I remember correctly from how I showed Nikki last night. And I cut that down dramatically with just loosening up the set screws down here on the collar there, and the collar there for the bearing pack. Same thing on these. Loosen up the bolts underneath. By doing that, the whole entire assembly right here will actually slide inward, and it won't touch or rub, which then gives you just enough additional convergence at the top. So by pushing it in, you actually get more squeeze at the top, and it brings it a little bit closer to your shoulder alignment, depending on your width. But I think for smaller folks that don't have as much width as maybe like me, maybe if that was reduced even more, but then the only way to be doing that would be to modify the actual platform so it would be a smidge smaller so it can go in more. But that was a cool little trick.